Change, they say, is constant, and the UK immigration is definitely not an exception.
Not joking, all my guys, them know me.
Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Melissa Oti, and if you're new on this channel, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so that whenever I post, you'll be the very first to find out. You guys, as you already know, one thing that comes with UK immigration is dynamic. The UK immigration is very, very dynamic. That is why I am here to keep you updated. So guys, in my last video, I talked about increments, how the UK government have decided to increase visa fees, COS fees, ILRO application, just increments upon increments, which of course I mentioned that for now, it's still a proposal. It has not been stamped. It has not been confirmed. It is still a proposal. So I want to understand that they are still going through it, reviewing it before they finally decide to publish it officially. Same way, these particular changes that I'm going to be mentioning today is something I've been talking about on this channel. Anytime they make a statement about it, especially Braverman, the Home Secretary, I come out to talk about it. When conservatives make any move, I come out here to talk about it. So it's been in the news for a while now. And finally, it has been approved. It has been fully reviewed, and they've decided that yes, it is going to kickstart. The UK government has officially published their statement of change. You might be wondering what statement of change means. Statement of change is like a document that is produced quarterly, or rather that is released quarterly by the UK government, and once it is posted on Gov.uk site, it starts to take effect. Now, this statement of change was published on the 17th of July 2023, just a few days ago, and it will take effect from 3 p.m. same day. So at the time of you watching this video, it has started taking effect, just so you know. How we start listing these changes, ideally these changes, they go through 21 days in the parliament. For instance, they are being made, or rather they are being laid before the parliament, and they usually take effect no earlier than 21 days before it was laid before the parliament. But the UK government considers this action necessary. What that means is that this time around, these changes are not being laid before the parliament because they feel like they've been all about these changes for a very long time, which you guys will agree with me that I've been talking about on this channel. So braverman has been all out for immigration, and of course I've been carrying you guys along with that. So I'm just going to read the very first statement of change. It's going to be on your screen just so you see what I'm talking about. And number one is removing the rights for international students to bring dependents unless they are on postgraduate courses currently designated as research programs. When they were on and about this topic, I was updating you guys constantly, and I even went as far as encouraging people that are just confused. Like, if you know you're coming with your family, just try as much as you can to come before January 2024, because this is going to take effect in January 2024. You will agree with me that in recent times, a lot of people have been able to come to the UK to study with their family. The conservatives are not buying the idea because they believe that dependents that these students bring to the UK are actually way more than students who are coming to the UK to study. If you're not coming to the UK for research programs, then you will not be able to bring your dependents to the UK. Now, there's an exception. If your admission is this September, you can still bring your dependents to the UK, but from January 2024, you will not be able to bring your dependents to the UK. I know this might come as really, really sad to some persons, because the last time I made this announcement, I know some persons came to my inbox to say, oh, Melissa, what's now the way forward? What do we do? And, you know, I just advise them basically, if you can, why don't you just come now? And they were like, oh, funds. We're still trying to raise funds and we will not be able to meet up. And I just advised them the best way I could advise them, because the UK universities are of really good standard. And I understand that lots and lots of people would want to come to the UK to study, to gain the international knowledge, the exposure. And most people are not happy to leave their family behind and come alone for obvious reasons. We all know like how difficult it can be when you're away from your family, but as it stands now, this is their country, their rules, their laws, and we'll definitely have to obey. This is July, and I want to believe that some schools might still be able to take admissions, but try not to apply through ACAS. You can try to go to the website directly. there might still be some spaces. If you can, try and apply, because from January 2024, you unfortunately will not be able to come with your family. Now, the second rule is that removing the ability for international students to switch out of the student route into work route before their studies have been completed. We know that a lot of people benefited from this, especially when the K visa route was introduced. Lots and lots of students switched. They just did not want their studies to end without securing their space in the UK, basically, like without getting a job, because getting a sponsor job means you're going to live in the UK. It means increasing your duration to live in the UK. And most of these sponsorship are usually like 3 years or for 5 years, which of course you can renew. But now it has changed. So unfortunately, you will not be able to switch directly from the TEF4 visa to a work visa. You unfortunately will not be able to do that. Now, on the website, it stated that these changes preserve the ability for dependents already in the UK to extend their stay, and for international students on third postgraduate courses beginning before 1st January 2024 to bring dependents. They also preserve existing exemptions for dependents or government-sponsored students and for dependent children who are born in the UK. So clearly, there is an exception. So for people, let's say you come into the UK pregnant, of course, you can give birth to your child in UK. That's an exemption. And also, if you're a government-sponsored student, I want to believe what this means is scholarship, but I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me. What is stated clearly here is that they also preserve existing exemptions for dependents of government-sponsored students. So from what this states, people who are probably on scholarship should be able to bring their dependents, but that is my understanding of this. If you understand it in a different way, you can share with me in the comment section, because we are going through this together. And now the switching restrictions will ensure that students are generally not switching in country to another route until they have completed their courses. Students on courses at degree level or above will be able to apply before course completion to switch to sponsored work routes, as long as their employment start date is not before their course completion. Those studying towards PhDs will be able to switch after 24 months study. So if you're not studying a postgraduate course and your student visa is about expiring and you're so worried and you don't know what to do, I understand your concern. Some persons, they get so frightened, they get so nervous, they become very anxious. Like anxiety starts to set in when they're about completing their studies and they don't know what to do. Because some persons actually think that what this means is that, oh, they can't look for a job till they are done with their school. That automatically means that they have to pay for the post-study visa. No, that's not what this means. So while you're in school, you can still go about with your job hunt, keep job hunting. If you're able to get a job, you can always tell them to date their COS after your student visa ends. For instance, if your study visa is expiring on the 24th of July, you can let your employer know that they can date your COS to start 25th of July. That way, you're going to be very, very safe. And of course, escape paying the post-study visa. I think that's the best option. And frankly, most employers are very, very understanding. They are, especially if you perform very, very well during your interview and they really, really know you're the right candidate for that job. Like they really, really want to keep you. But that does not mean that you're going to apply for a job. Let's say your visa is expiring in January 2024 and you're getting a job now. I mean, that's really a long time. They might not be able to preserve the job for you because they might just want an immediate start for that job. But if it's closed, that's like 1 month, because I mean, they do a lot of employment checks when you finally get a job. Referencing, DBS, just so many checks, which sometimes takes up to 6 weeks or even more. So just try and be very conscious of the timing. Another major change, which is of course a good news, is that some occupations have been added to shortage occupation list. Now let's read. The shortage occupation list covers lower salary requirements and lower visa application fees for jobs identified as being in shortage and where immigration is a sensible part of addressing that shortage. Following recommendations by the Migration Advisory Committee, MAC, all jobs in the following occupations in construction are being added to the list: bricklayer and masons, roofers, roof tilers and slaters, carpenters and joiners, construction and building trades, plasterers, and also agriculture, and of course fishing have also been added. So those that studied fishery, agri-economies, you might want to give it a shot. And lastly, another significant change that has been made is the applicants must genuinely intend and be able to undertake the role for which they are being sponsored, and not intend to undertake employment other than in the role for which they are being sponsored or as otherwise permitted by whatever. So this is very easy to understand. So we all know that lots and lots of people, sometimes they come into the UK as carers, but at the end of the day they don't work as carers, because I don't know how they do it. To be honest, I don't know, because of course I know it is very much illegal, but yeah, people do it. Actually thought that if a particular income is not coming directly from your employer for a period of time, you may face deportation. That was what I've always thought in my head, but apparently, I don't know, but I was thinking it's a thing. But yeah, it's clearly stated now that you must do the job that you came to this country for, because some persons, they just come into the UK as carers, not because they really have passion for the job, not because they really want to do the job, but just as a means to stay in the UK, and then they go about undertaking other jobs. But yeah, note that it is illegal. In case you're considering doing it or you're doing it at the moment, you may want to rethink. So you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Of course, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section about these changes. Are you affected? Just let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. And of course, I'm going to see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys.